And if you do that every time, it'll look perfect every time. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Bones of Berry YouTube, where we share artistic tips and expand our creative arsenals. I do apologize. There's been a little bit of a delay. My girlfriend and I decided to do the world famous Christmas shuffle, where we decide to try to move, pack, and move 50 miles away from into a new apartment on Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. So I do apologize for that. It's been a little bit chaotic as of late. With that being said, on today's video, we're going to get into drawing hands. Hands. That's right, you heard it here, folks. Those drawing devices you have growing out of your arms. And today we have a drawing that I did the last night, and I thought it would showcase some hands. She's doing some type of pose. With that being said, if you enjoyed my videos, like, comment, subscribe. There'll be more to come. And we're going to get right into the video. So we're going to just go ahead and draw a few different hands in a few different styles. And you guys can use them, to fit your needs, whatever needs you have. So we just opened up a 11 by 8 canvas. And we're going to draw 3 styles. One is going to be anime style hands. One is going to be sketching, and one is gonna be like a detailed line art. We'll figure it out as we go. So let's see. Just gonna go ahead and get some sketches in here of a few hands. Now keep in mind there are a few principles that I use when I draw hands. One is the size of each finger. The index finger right here is going to be similar to this one. So these can be the same size. Obviously the middle finger is the longest and the pinky is the shortest. Usually we'll have the pinky stop around right here, around that last little section of the phalange digit. So let's go ahead and take those arrows down and get back into it. Draw a few hand poses. And because these are hands and hands have the potential to be very frustrating, we're going to use this as a late Christmas present. What better way to jump into 2022 with a fresh, shiny ability to draw hands? Maybe you got just socks for Christmas, something that wasn't as fun as this new ability you just added. So you can be thankful for that. Okay, everybody, now that we got through the sketching phase, we're going to go ahead and get into the next. Let's see, which one will be the anime? We'll make we'll go ahead and make the anime the left, the realistic one in the middle, and the detailed line art one on the right. So for the one on the left, we're gonna go anime style. So we're gonna go skinny line art. I use that one. Okay. And the brush I used was inking. I just modified a studio pen, nothing too complex. And then you just do a clean skin. That's a little bit thick for a line art for anime. So we're going to go a little bit thinner until we figure out how we're going to do it. There we go. So this hand, I was just trying to I was trying to do a few different hand poses, a few varieties. I just did them all from memory. So, maybe I should have looked at references or something. But either way, I think they came out pretty successful with what I was trying to achieve. So here I'm drawing hands, and one thing, or this first hand pose, I wanted to have influence of whatever object is being pressed on, because this is important when you talk about like convincing shapes and or convincing hand poses and stuff like that. Like if somebody's doing something where weight is involved and those digits aren't bending properly, it just doesn't read as well. So you want to make sure, especially, you get those last digits of the phalanges in there. That's a weird word, phalanges. I just like getting the opportunity to say it. Forgive me. So you just draw in those hands right there. So we have our first hand. So for anime style, it's very simple. You just take another layer. You know, you knock down the opacity. It, you might want to use like 20 or something. You pick like the same another brush that's very similar, rigid, and you just there are a few things to note here, but pretty simple. So what they normally do when it comes to cell shading is these last digits up here. Those are usually a different plane. So it to indicate that you'll shade that entire area right there. So then you'll come in and redefine certain areas. But as a rule of thumb, you'll just draw those right there. You'll just paint those right there, and then we're just gonna come back in, and we're gonna just give a little bit of an indication down here of a planar change, because the same way it changed at this down slope changes again right here. So as you can see, it's like a step ladder. So we just draw that right there, or erase some of those areas. Now for the hand, it's basically you can separate it into two main parts. So you have that first digit, which runs that first phalange that runs along here. Now, as a rule of thumb, you can just say that that's equal to this, and if you do that every time, it'll look perfect every time. You don't even have to worry about anyone saying, "Oh, the edge of the finger is too small" or whatever. It'll just be pleasing. And there we have it. That's our shaded hand, just in case. I'm going to take the same brush, but this time, the reason why I'm choosing this brush is because it actually has like a simulation of like the tooth of a paper. So if I want to go ahead and thicken up a line, I can just go over it a few times and make it thicker, as opposed to drawing a line and it's as dark as it will get. So when you're drawing like a balled up fist or hands, this part is important. So whoa, I kind of made a mess of this. Sorry. Let me adjust it. So you just draw like, let's see. Let me just keep drawing. So you draw that first one and you angle it slightly to the side right there. And that's going to be where everything below that curved line is going to be the turning of that joint right there. So that way, oh, that's too big. So that way you can have that change in planes, and when people see it, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, the hand's bending," without even having to ask you what's going on here. So because this is going to be ultimately a line art, you can add a few hatching lines in there on some of the areas where the hand ends, and it will be darker, and then you could just go in and you could pick another brush, the same brush, and just thin out some of the areas that have a little extra artifacts that aren't needed. And there you have it, folks. These are three different styles of hands that you might want to draw. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I know the middle one is a little bit gritty. I was trying to do it fast and also not erase, but hopefully you understand what I meant and you enjoyed the video. You learned a few things. And we'll go ahead and end that with a time lapse. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, guys. And there's more content coming on the way. So to be notified and be the earliest there, go ahead and turn on the notifications. Thank you, and see you next time.